Hey yo, what is up, my good people? It's your boy, Big Chris, aka the Compton Animator, and I am here once again to bring you another dumb as hell video. Now, on today's video, we're going to be talking about a brand new show from Marvel, and that is this Hawkeye. Now, Hawkeye is a show that is on Marvel's Disney Plus, and I had just got a chance to finish watching the first 3 episodes of the show, and I'm here to review them. I'm kind of late with this, but I'm finally got a chance to watch it, and now I got a chance to review it. So yeah, let's go and get this started with talking about Hawkeye. So um, for me, before I do anything, I gotta start off talking about how I break down my videos. So I go through my overall expectations going in, my overall positives, my overall mixed feelings, and then I end with a score review. For this one, I'm gonna start off with talking about the first 2 episodes and my positives and mixed feelings for them. I'm gonna kind of go through the first 2 episodes pretty quickly because I kind of want to just, get those out of the way, and then I'm gonna talk about episode 3 and talk about my positives and my mixed feelings for that one. But to start off with, let's go through my expectations. So for this show, um, I didn't really have any real big expectations coming in. I was interested to see how Hawkeye and Clint Bishop would meet up and how the show would go over all together. I'm a big Marvel fan, like almost everybody else is right now. So, I'm very interested to see what they do with Hawkeye character. Like I've always been somewhat of a fan of Hawkeye per se. I really enjoyed him in the Avengers movies. I've remember watching him in the cartoons back in the day. I've only really read one of his comic books, and that was the Matt Fraction run. I've only really read that trade, and other than that, like I don't know a crazy amount about Hawkeye, but I enjoy him, especially in Avengers movies. I know he's a laughing, kind of joke in the Avengers movies where people don't take him too seriously, especially because he just has a bow and arrow. But I enjoy him for what he is in those movies, and I especially enjoy Jeremy Renner's portrayal of Hawkeye. Um, as far as Kate Bishop goes, I don't know too much about that character. I was introduced to her more in the Avengers video game. I knew about her before that a little bit, as far as knowing she is a character, knowing she has a connection to Hawkeye. I may have read something with her in the comic books if the Matt Fraction run had her in it or something like that, but I don't really remember that run too much, but I got her more and started learning her story more from the Avengers video game. But other than that, only expectation I just had to see was really it was to see how they took Kate Bishop's story in this one and how they connected everything. Um, to start off with my positives, I would say the first thing that was a big positive for me was the opening credits here. I really enjoyed how they used the opening credits and how it was kind of a kind of a throwback and a mimic and homage to the Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye and stuff. I really enjoyed that. I would also say the next thing that I really enjoyed about the first 2 episodes, I'm gonna kind of talk about the first 2 episodes, is what did I have here? Oh, is the overall backstory for Kate Bishop. I really enjoyed how they told her backstory, and that the reason why she kind of gets this idea of wanting to be heroic is because of what happened to her when she was a kid and how her father died. I enjoyed what they did with that, and them kind of going through her backstory, and them the whole beginning scene for Kate Bishop was really cool. Showing how that she was living in an apartment building, kind of a rich apartment building in the middle of, I think that's Manhattan, where the first Avenger attack happened, and the Battle of New York with the Avengers and the Chari. I love that little part of the story with her. Um the next thing that I kind of enjoyed with this was, Hawkeye's connection with his family, and also the whole Steve Rogers Broadway play musical thing that they had going on. I really enjoyed that music. I heard, some people have mixed feelings on the whole them having that much of the musical in the episode, but it kind of harkened back to the episodes of, I think it was season 3 of the last of Avatar The Last Airbender, where they go up to a musical and see themselves in the musical, and it's kind of a story of the Avatar and his friends. And this one kind of did the same thing with the Avengers and everybody. So I really enjoyed that whole scene and stuff, but also just Hawkeye in there and how he's kind of annoyed with everything. And his whole thing is, he's he's kind of over a lot of it, but he really wants to be with his family. And I love that connection that he had with his family and how he really wants to be there for his kids and stuff like that. And the only really time he smiled at the beginning of the first couple episodes was when he was with his kids. And I really enjoyed that aspect of the show and him talking about his character. I would say next, overall Hawkeye's emotions and what he was going through. You really got a chance to see not just him missing his kids, wanting to be with his kids, but how he's dealing with Black Widow's death. You can see that it's really hurting him and it still really touches him, especially when he goes to that play. I really enjoyed that. And next I want to talk about the tracksuit villains, the tracksuit mafia guys. I really enjoyed them in this episode. The action scenes that they had with Kate Bishop in the Ronin costume, and stuff like that. I really enjoyed a lot of what was going on with there. I enjoyed how the action scenes that they had in that action scene. There was a scene where Kate Bishop was in a underground auction where she was like hiding out in the underground auction and just trying to figure out something that was going on in the episode. And she ends up having to put on the Hawkeye's Ronin costume and fight those tracksuit mafia guys. And I enjoyed the fight scene. I thought that was pretty good, and I enjoyed all the interactions with her and everyone that was going on, and her trying to run away in this tracksuit that everybody's after because Ronan killed a bunch of mafia guys. So, you know, everybody's thinking that she's Ronan and they're chasing her. And I enjoyed that the tracksuit mafia guys was the ones that was chasing her. I thought that was pretty chill. And overall, I enjoyed the whole meetup between Hawkeye and Kate Bishop at the end, and I thought it was a great way to end that episode. That was for a lot of this stuff I'm talking about was still in episode one of the show. Episode two, we kind of got into more of the Hawkeye stuff and getting to see him kind of get more into now I got to go and save this girl, Kate Bishop, and everything that's going on with her. They actually had something that I kind of liked a good amount in here where he had a whole LARPing scene, which is the live action role play scene where he had to dress up and wrong picture. Where he had to dress up and kind of try to fight to get the Ronin suit back, which a firefighter had took. I enjoyed that scene and everything. Just him, doing this whole thing of trying to be a part of this scene just to kind of get his costume back and him being annoyed with it all. I thought that was very entertaining for the most part. Um, I would say that that was kind of done better in another TV show, which is Supernatural. I enjoyed the character of Dean in that TV show doing that type. It was basically the same type of story that went on, that with Hawkeye. Not the full same thing, but with a guy having to dress up and get a part of the LARPing thing. Like they did it a little bit better, but I enjoyed Clint and Jeremy Renner here and doing that scene. And oh, also I enjoyed the whole backstory of Hawkeye and he now has a hearing aid in this episode, and it plays more as a gimmick throughout the first three episodes and stuff like that. But I enjoyed the reasoning for it that he's basically just been through so much with the Avengers that he's now going deaf and he's lost a lot of hearing in one of his ears and maybe both of his ears. I'm not sure, but he can damn near can't hear anymore. So I enjoyed that they're showing that he has an effect coming from being an Avenger that, his body is all beat up, he can barely hear anymore, and emotionally he's just kind of stricken and he's beaten down. So I enjoyed a lot of what his character was, especially with Hawkeye in this episode. As far as my mixed feelings for this episode though, I would say a lot of that has to come from just I think the overall story here in the first two episodes wasn't that great. A lot of it had to do with Kate Bishop and her family, and especially with her mother and her mother's boyfriend. I didn't. The mother was fine in this episodes in these first two episodes, but I didn't really enjoy just a lot of the story that was going along with her, and also kind of Kate Bishop came off as a brat in these first two episodes. Like there was nothing really that likable about her. She was just messing up in school and destroying things, and then she would get home and get into arguments with her mom and stuff. It was it was okay, but it didn't really make the episode all that entertaining for me. Also the comedy here didn't really hit as well. It was very hit and miss. Sometimes I would get a little chuckle here and there, but it was like, just nothing here in these first two episodes beyond the kind of things I spoke on in my positives. Because I like the things that I talked about in my positives. I actually, enjoyed them in the first two episodes, but they didn't do anything more for me going past that. Um, And also, I thought the episodes were too long. Each of them were like either 50 to 50 plus minutes each. And I don't know if that fully worked for me. The third episode is actually shorter, and I'm gonna get into that one. But these two episodes felt like they could have kind of condensed all of this story in 30 minutes and really got past them. It just kind of felt a little boring at parts in these first two episodes, and just didn't give the hit that the other shows kind of gave you in the first episodes. Like with WandaVision, those first couple of episodes were just astounding, just because you see them mimicking a style of the old school TV and everything, the mystery that's going on with WandaVision. Then there's the Falcon and Winter with Falcon and Winter Soldier first couple episodes where the action is really good, and you get a lot of the chemistry with Hawkeye and Hawkeye with Falcon and Winter Soldier and everything. The Loki TV show, just the whole mystery of that one and all the craziness that was going on. For this one, those first two episodes didn't really hit for me. It didn't have a good connection. It didn't leave me wanting more. I kind of didn't start getting wanting more until after I watched the third episode, and that one I thought started off. Let me get to a picture of it. Started off really good with first getting to our kind of villain of the show first, which is Echo. That's not her. Echo is a let me find that's her as a kid, but here she is. So Echo is a chick right here. She's a I want to say a villain from the comic books. I've never really looked at her or read about her before, but you get her backstory in the first episode, at the third episode in the beginning, and they go through the whole thing of her being deaf and her having to grow up not being able to hear, and everything that's going on with her and her father. And you kind of get to see that her father has a deeper secret, and he gets killed because of it as she got older, and gets killed because of Ronan. And they also hint at something else with her as a kid, like there may be somebody from somewhere else. They kind of hinting at a bigger bad guy along the way. But I really enjoyed her whole story, her whole backstory, and her learning, growing up, being deaf, and having to learn how to get past it and get through it and stuff. I also, in this episode, I really enjoyed just the comedy starting working a lot better for me. Um, a lot of what they were doing here. Let me get to this my notes real quick. Oh, here we go. So yeah, a lot of what they were doing here with the comedy in the first and the third episode started working a lot better, especially a lot of the warehouse stuff when they're in the warehouse and you get the dialogue between Kate and Clint and all of them talking back and forth with each other, or talking to the tracksuit guys. I really enjoyed kind of their back and forth and stuff like that. Kate was working a lot better in these first two episodes for me. And also that they were inside of a warehouse that was basically a KB Toys. I thought that was really hilarious, and especially the fight scene in the warehouse. I really enjoyed the fight scene in that little warehouse. I thought that was really good, and it really did give Hawkeye and Kate a chance to shine. And then there was the chase scene that was outside of the warehouse and going into the streets, and that even got even better because it was kind of this tracking shot where the camera basically felt like it was in the backseat of the car, and you were with them while they were being chased, and them going through everywhere, and her sitting on the car trying to shoot arrows at the villains and trying to blow up their car, not even blow up, but trying to stop their cars, but ended up not knowing what each arrow does and kind of messing up and stuff like that. Like, I love the trick arrows in this episode, especially in that whole car chase scene where they had like what was it? A putty kind of arrow. They had a smoke arrow. They had acid arrows, grappling arrows, and stuff like that. And the action scene ended really well on the bridge, where you get to see you get to see Hawkeye shoot a Ant-Man type arrow with PEM particles in it, and it basically blows up one of the arrows to a giant size and attacks one of the not attacks, but it lands on one of the cars. And that was really dope to me. Just that whole section, the whole action scenes going on there was really fun, and it really made the show feel more lively and kind of gave it the pep that the show really needed. And I really enjoyed a lot of this third episode and what they were doing here. Um, and also, I thought that the connection, like I think I said it before, the connection with Clint and Kate in this third episode really worked a lot better for me, especially with there was a scene where was Clint was answering the phone thinking it was his wife at first, but it was his little kids. And throughout the first three episodes, Clint has kind of been, um, how can I say this? He was looking for a way to kind of get back with his kids and stuff like that. He knew that he needed to help this girl and Kate Bishop finish her thing and get rid of the Ronin costume, but he knew that in doing this, he was going to miss spending Christmas with his kids, or try to at least miss, getting the ability to get back to his kids. And I like the kind of phone call that he had with them, and then trying to, it was a really touching moment. And with Kate Bishop being the only one that could hear in the room and telling Hawkeye what to say and what to do on the phone. I thought that was a really entertaining scene and just a real emotional scene. You got to see a lot more of Clint Barton's Hawkeye's emotion and stuff like that. I thought Jeremy Renner did a really good job in that. And also just the entire episode so far, like the third episode, really got their connection a lot better, and um got a lot of the chemistry with those two a lot more. And I really enjoyed the third episode. I say the only real mixed feelings that I have from it is still Kate Bishop's comedy is still hit and miss here and there. I thought it was more hit than miss on this episode. And also, I thought the episode was a little bit too short. This one felt like the episode that should have been the 50 minutes. I think it was like 40 minutes at the max. But this one felt like, this episode should have been 50 minutes. This is the one that I kind of wanted that out of. Um, and also, yeah, I think I said this, I'm not sure, but the episode ended on a cliffhanger. And it was interesting where it ended, but I was kind of like, oh man, give me more. Like, I wanted more from this episode. But overall, for me, the first two episodes didn't hit. And while I enjoyed some things about the episodes, the watching of it wasn't great. Um, I'm gonna enjoy it a lot about this because I'm a Marvel fan. I'm a big superhero fan, so I'm gonna find a lot of positives in it. But just speaking critically and just speaking while I was watching it, I wasn't in love with it. I wasn't finding a lot with it. It wasn't until that third episode where the show clicked and I was having fun watching it. So with that being said, my star rating would be 2.75 stars, 2 and 3/4 stars. I was almost at that three, but the first two episodes just didn't give me enough to get me to really enjoy what was going on in those episodes. But yeah, that is my review for Hawkeye episodes 1, 2, and 3. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and please, please, please share if you don't mind. I'm gonna try to review all of this show. I may do an episode at a time. I may stick the episodes together just like this, but hopefully I get them out in a timely manner. Thank you for watching. Word up. Peace.